You will always hear people say, play more removal, play more removal. And the truth is most people probably don't play enough removal, and their games would probably go a lot better if they did. Here's 5 of my favorite non-creature removal spells that will make your commander deck at least feel like it's functioning better. Obviously, you need to, consider synergies and whatnot. Coming in at number 5 is Pick Your Poison. For 1 green mana, sorcery, choose one. Each opponent sacrifices an artifact, each opponent sacrifices an enchantment, each opponent sacrifices a creature with flying. Okay, there is creature removal on this one, but the thing is this card is 1 green mana. That's it. They get to choose what they sacrifice, but for 1 green mana, you get a 3 for 1. Obviously, later in the game, artifact might not be as good of a choice as people generate artifact tokens and stuff, but having everyone sacrifice an enchantment is really powerful, especially for 1 mana. It's going to get around all the hexproof and the protection spells people might use to protect those key enchantments they have on the battlefield. Number 4, Force of Vigor. For 4 mana, 2 and 2 green, instant. If it's not your turn, you may exile a green card from your hand rather than pay this spell's mana cost. Destroy up to 2 artifacts and or enchantments. And I know what you're thinking. Some of you might be like, why would you recommend a free spell? I know free spells can be really annoying. However, this is just good artifact and enchantment removal. And if you're not playing enough artifact and enchantment removal, it can be kind of difficult to convince you to do so. So what better way than to be able to cast this spell without paying any mana? Number 3, Witch Enchanter. 4 mana, 3 and a white. Creature, human, warlock. It's a 2/2. When Witch Enchanter enters the battlefield, destroy target artifact or enchantment an opponent controls, and on the backside, it flips into Witch Blessed Meadow, which can enter the battlefield untapped if you pay 3 life, otherwise it'll enter the battlefield tapped and it taps for white mana. Witch Enchanter is overcosted at 4 mana. You could typically get this effect for 3 mana on a creature to ETB, destroy an artifact or an enchantment. So you are paying a little extra. However, there's a lot to love because being a land on the backside, especially one that can enter untapped, means that it fills multiple roles, right? You get this early, hey, it's your land drop. You get it later in the game, and it can remove a key artifact or enchantment from your opponent's battlefield. Having this ability on a creature is great because you have, additional synergies. 2 or less power creatures entering the battlefield. Well, white has a lot of cards that synergize with that. It's a human, so a lot of support there. And a warlock that commits a crime by targeting something an opponent controls, so perfect for an outlaw deck. And if people don't play enough removal, they certainly don't play enough lands most of the time. So this helps you with both of those things. Number 2, Dismantling Wave. For 3 mana, 2 and a white, sorcery. For each opponent, destroy up to 1 target artifact or enchantment that player controls. Cycling, 6 and 2 white, so you discard this card, draw a card. When you cycle Dismantling Wave, destroy all artifacts and enchantments. I was trying to avoid board wipes on this list, but cycling Dismantling Wave is kind of rare. 8 mana is a lot, but it is nice to have. Just being able to get a 3 for 1 with your targeted removal makes it worth playing Dismantling Wave, because honestly, one of the biggest downsides people have with targeted removal is that if you trade 1 card for someone else's 1 card, your other 2 opponents didn't lose anything. So you just get a lot more value, and these 3 for 1 kind of cards are just amazing. Number 1, Collective Resistance. 1 and a green, instant, escalate, green. Pay this cost for each mode chosen beyond the first. Choose 1 or more. Destroy target artifact, destroy target enchantment, target creature gains hexproof and indestructible until the end of turn. I absolutely love this card. It's extremely flexible, and unlike other modal spells, where usually you're paying a premium for specific effects. So for example, target creature gains hexproof and indestructible is overpaying. You can actually get it for 1 green mana on an instant spell. You could just protect any permanent. So you are overpaying just to simply give hexproof and indestructible to 1 creature. However, you're not just choosing to do that or an artifact, destroy an artifact or an enchantment. You can get all of these effects. So you could pay 1 and 3 green, destroy an artifact, destroy an enchantment, and protect your creature from a crucial moment, whether it's a Swords to Plowshares or protected in combat, or, the indestructible protects you from, a specific board wipe or something. So this card, because it can do all of the things and have the flexibility of just being like a modal spell, it really is awesome. And of course you could pay 3 mana and just, destroy an artifact and enchantment or any combination. So to me, this kind of does a lot of stuff that I love in a game. I highly value non-creature removal as well as protection spells. So this is a way to include both in your deck, and I highly recommend this card. It's really awesome. Look, there's a lot of fantastic removal spells that will target any permanent or any non-land permanent on the battlefield. And yes, those would be your go-to for sheer flexibility, but I wanted to offer some non-creature options if you needed more removal in your deck in addition to your other creature and non-land permanent removal spells.